This period is a fascinating one. It's a period of enormous transformations. In Persia, there's a great teacher at this time, Zoroaster. And the gathas, or hymns of Zoroaster, are so close to Sanskrit that the Persians and Aryans of India cannot have been long separated when these were written. The languages were too close. And so the probable dating of Zarathustra is somewhere around the time of these Upanishads. Now, it's out of the Zoroastrian or Zarathustra message that our whole Western tradition comes, in contrast to that which is of the Buddha. So I want to say something about that first and then talk about the Buddha. I have 10 minutes in which to do this. Zoroaster was totally against sacrifice. He was totally against the whole drift of these psychologies in India and of the earlier mythologies that were concerned with putting yourself in harmony with the universe. Zoroaster, in his mythology, sees two gods. Ahura Mazda, the Lord of Light, after whom the Mazda bulbs were named. Ahura means kind of spirit, and Mazda is this particular spirit of light. Ahura Mazda, who is all light, all benevolence, all power, all knowledge. And then against him is the opposite deity called Angra Mainyu, A-N-G-R-A-M-A-I-N-Y-U, who is darkness, hypocrisy, and deception. What he has done has been to concretize two opposites. The good and the evil, the light and the dark, have been here personified, over-personified, you might say, as gods. And the mythology is as follows, that the good God created a good world which was all light, consequently invisible. To see something, you have to have shadow. And Angra Mainyu, who's always late and always jealous, is angry at seeing this and decides to do something about it and pours darkness and sin and everything nasty into it. And so there is a fall. And so the universe consists of a good and an evil power in conflict and in union. So do not put yourself in harmony with the universe. That's exactly what you mustn't do. That's what you are in the first place. You're a mixture. You must, through intention, through decision, through action, and through courage, align yourself with what you recognize as the good. And then the myth tells that there came into the world a savior to teach the way to accent the good. And as a result of the action of this savior, there is now taking place a restoration. There are the good people who are restoring the world to its original condition, so that you have a straight line ascent to a restoration. And there will come a time when the crisis will occur, when all darkness will be wiped out. There will be a second coming of the Savior in the form of a figure known as Saoshyant, and darkness will be permanently eliminated, the Lord of Darkness himself eliminated, and there will be nothing but light again. Do you recognize the story? And so we have here on this western coast, this western side of the story, this idea of don't put yourself in accord with nature. Fix nature up, and your crowd is the one that's doing it. We move now over to the Buddhist side, see? And what the Buddha is saying is, yes, all life is sorrowful. That's the nature of life. Good and evil, everything, all these names that you give things, that which is good and that which is evil, it's all a mix, and that's the way it is. The Buddha used actually the terminology of a Hindu medical man. Medical man comes in and observes the patient. What's wrong with the patient? The patient is suffering. Is there a cure? Is there a cure for suffering? All life is suffering. There is a cure for suffering. The cure for suffering, what is the cure? Nirvana. What is the healthy state? Now, what is nirvana? There are many ways of getting this wrong. Nirvana consists in the psychological stance that makes you indifferent to suffering. What is it that turns your life into nothing but suffering? It is desire and fear. Desire for something, some delusory desire, and fear lest you should lose something. And this desire and fear, when they are quenched, you come to what's known as the Mahasukha, the great delight, the realization of rapture. And when you're experiencing rapture, pain doesn't hurt. And it's that getting into a center that gives you such a participation in the rapture of the process that you're right in the center there and are neither winning nor losing. You're in being. I mean, this is nirvana.